Hello, everybody. Um, just doing a pop up live. I don't know anybody's going to show up. Just thought we would talk a little bit what's going on the homestead. Uh, we got some exciting things going on, and it's a pop up live, so I don't know that many or anybody's going to come in, but we'll give it some time. Um, we've been out here working hard. It's not too hot today, but it is crazy humid today. Crazy humid. So we've been sweating. It's been a warm day to be working in the sunshine. So I picked to come under the shade trees to do the live. It's nice and cool in the shade here, and uh, I've let my hair down, waiting for it to dry. It's soaking wet from working and sweating, and I'm on my phone. So unless you say hi or leave a comment or something, I don't know who's here. Oh, the Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. Hey guys. Um, says scheduled and to set reminder. Had to look twice to see if it was now. Yeah, I am just doing a pop up live. Hello. Mm, the Tinda channel? I believe you're new. I don't know you. Welcome in. Glad to see you. We got some news on the homestead that's pretty exciting. Uh, we are our county had told us to begin with they didn't have the money to run water to our community, and we were going to have to dig a well. And when we looked into the price of digging a well, it's crazy expensive. Crazy expensive. So we were just going to catch rainwater for a while, which we will still have to do. And we want to be off the grid, but we also want to farm, and it's going to be hard to raise all the vegetables with no water. So we dug a pond, and we can pump water out of the pond for our vegetables and animals once we start living here. Um, but by December of 2023, our county is going to get us water, which is going to help out a lot. Hi, F&P Farms. Thanks for coming in. But with all the regulations they put on us, we can't be off the grid anyway. So we decided, well, if we can't be 100% off the grid, just go ahead and get county water. We'll still pump water out of the pond for our vegetables just because that's cheaper. And we've put in our septic tank. It passed the inspection. We are leveling off the site for the house now to have the concrete pad poured, because that's what we're just gonna have a solid concrete foundation. And Vince is actually working on that now. And that's what we've been doing today anyway. Hello, Southern Sandy. Thanks for coming in. And we have our neighbor's pond overflows into the ditch next to that comes across our property. And it has small fish in it, and I've been trying to catch fish all day in a little fish trap and put them in our pond so they don't all get away. Once the ditch dries up, those fish are going to die anyway. So I've been trying to catch them with no luck so far. The water's moving quickly, and it's about knee deep. So I think they'll be easier to catch once the water goes down and it's not moving so quickly. But right now, there's just no way that I can catch them just with a fish trap and a bucket and a stick. Uh, I'll probably invest in a net, I guess, and try to catch some of those. We also worked on our beds up here today for our. I'm going to plant a cut flower garden next year and hopefully sell some of those at the farmer's market, I hope. And are you using a minnow sign? No. I just made like weaved a little fish basket and was trying to catch them. My tools aren't the best, but I was just working with what I had. Um, I'll get them eventually because eventually the water's going to get low and they're just going to die. So it's going to be way better, way easier, I think, when I get a net and the water gets lower and it's not moving as quickly. But I'm going to try to catch them and put them in our pond because we have mosquitoes, of course, and we need fish in there for the mosquitoes. Later on, we're going to stock the pond, but we're not done digging the pond. So we don't want to go buy fish and then stir up a bunch of silt and maybe they live and maybe they don't. But these are free fish and they're going to die anyway in a ditch. So why not put them in the pond and let them eat mosquitoes? Um, but we've been working on our flower, cut flower garden bed. We mowed all the weeds out of it because we planted onions in it this year and peppers and tomatoes up here because all those deer don't care for. And the deer didn't bother them, but something dug up our onions, all of them. And we had a ton of onions that we planted. So I am not sure what dug them up. They dug them up and took the whole thing. And they didn't do it all at once. It was like, we would come up here and 10 or 15 would be gone and then come back and there would be 10 or 15 until they were just all gone. So I'm not sure if it was a groundhog, a squirrel, I don't know what it was. But it didn't, whatever it was, didn't bother our garlic. So we did get some garlic, but ate all of our onions. It didn't bother our peppers and it didn't bother our tomatoes. So birds brought fish to your pond. Well, we may have birds bring fish to our pond, but as far as I know, right now we don't have any fish in there. We have some snapping turtles and we have a lot of frogs. A lot of frogs. Groundhogs. You think groundhogs eat onions? It could be. We do have some groundhogs, and it could be. We do have some armadillos too. I don't know if armadillos eat onions or not, but we have armadillos. We do have some groundhogs. Of course, we have deer and rabbit and things like that. But from what I've read, deer and rabbit do not like onions and garlic. So I'm not sure. But it could have been a groundhog because we do have those. Um, but they destroyed the whole crop of onions. They're just gone. But they didn't bother the tomatoes or the peppers. So we did get tomatoes and peppers from up here. We're going to plant blackberries in the next couple of months, and we've decided that we probably want a fruit and berry farm instead of. We'll still grow vegetables, but we'll grow vegetables probably just for us, and then the fruits and veggies we would sell. Don't know anything about armadillos, but groundhogs will eat them. Yeah. Well, it could have been. Definitely could have been. Um, I don't know. We didn't see any tracks or anything, so it's really hard for me to say, what it was. But it definitely could have been a groundhog because we do have them, and I don't know if they eat them or not. Um, but how? What would your suggestion be to, if it was a groundhog, how to keep them from eating my onions? I would think a groundhog could just dig under a fence, right? I'm not sure how to keep a groundhog out of your onions. I mean, I don't think. Hello, our cabin in the woods. Thanks for coming in. You did your collaboration today. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. We've had some really good videos of people preserving things. Chewed them. um, we've had some really good videos of people joining in on the collaboration, and I really appreciate it. Anybody that wants to join in, just make a video of preserving whatever you want, whether it's canning, dehydrating, freezing. Um, I, the Gypsy and Vanilla Gorilla also added y'all's to the playlist. They also joined in our collaboration, but you would just put the hashtag together we preserve and I'll find it and I'll put it on our playlist. Uh, I really think people should know the basics of growing your own food, and the next step is knowing what to do with it when you have so much you can't eat. And I think along with Shed Wars, because Shed Wars, is teaching people how to grow things. But then if they are just learning how to grow things, what do they do with their food? So they're either having to research that, or they're giving the food away that they can't eat, or maybe feeding it to their animals, or maybe even it's going to waste because they don't know what they can do with it. And there's lots of ways people can preserve food and not have to pressure can it, because lots of people are intimidated by pressure canners. Uh, so they could water bath or freeze it or dehydrate it and not have to mess with a pressure canner. Although I do pressure can food. This year I bought a electric pressure canner, which was expensive, but I enjoy it. It's kind of, you set it and you forget it. I can put my canned food in there. It will do 5 quarts at a time. So it doesn't do a massive amount of canning at once, but you can put 5 quarts in there and set it and then go to bed. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to watch it. It cuts itself off. It does its own thing, and it is amazing. But if, I had 200 pounds of tomatoes at once, I wouldn't be able to do that. Not in the pressure canner, because it would just take too long. It was an old video. We will do another one. Shedgewort is crazy sometimes. Not going to be a big priority next year. I like a lot of the people. Yeah, yeah, you can do another video. That's perfectly fine if you want to do another one. I do appreciate that you did put the hashtag on the other video, though. I would like that playlist to get really big and people to be able to go and watch how to preserve just anything that they've got. I think it's a huge asset to people, and it's a dying art, I guess. Um, Lots of people don't know how to preserve their food. If the grocery store wasn't there, they'd probably get pretty hungry. But today we've just been working on the cut flower bed. I mowed the weeds down because, of course, the onions were gone. Tomatoes have already played out. The peppers have already played out. The only thing we have coming in right now is okra. That's it. Everything is, well, we still have sweet potatoes to dig, but that will be later on. I'll do that right before the first frost. But we mowed the weeds and then took a tarp and put over the top of it so it can kill the weeds. And next year, we'll the paths are covered in cardboard and sawdust, and then the weeds will be dead for the spring. I want a canner. I want a canner like the cans you buy in the store. So I've never seen one of those, but I was told that one of the towns close to us has like a community kitchen where you can go and use their canner, which is a canner that does in cans like you buy at the store. And I think it was like, had to pay 15, 20 cents per can or something. And you can bring in your own vegetables, use their machine and everything. And you pay for the cans. And I believe there's a set rate to use their kitchen. And then you just have to clean it up when you leave. I've never been there. Somebody just told me that. I haven't done the research on it, just because I probably won't ever do that because I don't have time. When I'm canning, because I have a full time job, it's after work and I'm rushing to do things and get everything done and then get into bed so I can go to work the next morning. And then on the weekends, we're usually up here working on this property trying to build a house. So, um, I don't know, but you may be able to look into that and see if you have somewhere in your community or community close by that has something like that. And I have seen other people on YouTube that done videos on their community kitchen that does that. Um, so you might be able to look into that. I have no idea how you find things like that. I just heard word of mouth about the one that's supposedly close to me. I've never seen it, so I don't even know it exists. So, but I've seen somebody on YouTube do a video about it in their community. Uh, I don't know. Maybe you could just Google it, or you could call your county. I don't know. I have no idea. Our county has a lot of things for farmers. They have equipment that you can rent. Uh, and I think you rent it for like $25 a day. They have planters that's a no dig planter. You can rent it. I think it was $25 a day. And then we also have a something in our community. If you bought land and you want to make it farmland, they will come in and dig up the trees, push the trees over with bulldozers. I'm sure they leave a huge mess. I'm not going to do that because I like my trees, and we have a field that's already cleared to plant in. But they charge you the like the gas to come and do it, and it's the forestry service that comes and does it. Excuse me. And I learned that through the agricultural department in our county. I called them. They have a lot of resources and information and people to talk to and all kinds of stuff. So you might be able to call your agricultural whoever in your county and ask them about a kitchen like that, or if there's one close by. They may know. I don't know. You're trying to turn your farmland into solar fields. So I've seen solar fields before. There's none around here that I know of. Um, I think they're a huge eyesore. A huge eyesore. Although we are going to have solar for our house, but our panels are going to be on top of our house. They're not going to be out in the field, taking up the field, because we need the field to plant things. Um, are they trying to make solar fields like the electric companies doing it, or is it a person that is turning their field into a solar field? All the ones I've seen was not an actual person, it was the electric company that was doing it. Hello, M. Pedmar. Thanks for coming in. We're just doing a pop up live, enjoying the beautiful view today. It's a beautiful day. We're not supposed to have rain until Wednesday or Thursday, I think. So we're trying to get some leveling done for the house because once it rains, the backhoe just sinks in the ground and there's not much we can do when it rains. Anybody else have anything going on? We haven't planted our fall garden yet. We were going to plant some winter cabbage, turnips, uh, carrots, I believe. Thank you, thank you. I do believe it's beautiful. It's our little piece of heaven. What else were we going to plant? That's all I can think of right now. We've never done a fall garden before, but I do want to do some cabbage, some turnips, some carrots. Other than that, probably not going to do much. In the wintertime, we we work our butts off in the summertime. In the wintertime, we want to do as little as possible. If that makes sense, that's our busiest time of the year, is spring and summer. And then in the fall, we don't want to do a lot. We want to enjoy the fall, usually with our grandkids. We're usually doing things, lots of things in the fall with our grandkids. And then in the winter, we spend a lot of time with our family. And we do not do a lot of stuff with our family in the summertime and in the spring because we're just so flippin' busy. Okay, let's see about the comments here. Sorry, guys, I need to catch up. Uh, have solar panels. One whole small town is now a solar field, and our school is now completely on their own solar energy. And that's a pretty big school. The energy company is doing it. Well, are they getting any? So the school is running off of all solar. Are they getting any cuts in their bills for running off of solar and not using the other energy? Are you going to be going to the Okie Expo? I will not. I am not going anywhere right now that I don't have to. I mean, our exposure to people is pretty limited, and I don't know. I don't know what words I can use and what I can't use, but just because of the sickness, let's call it that, the sickness that's going around, I don't want to be exposed unless I have to. And I work from home, and Vince works here. And my parents are retired because we're staying with my parents while we build a house here. And my grandmother is elderly, and my brother is disabled. And my grandmother lives in front of my parents. So whatever I'm exposed to, she's exposed to. My brother's disabled. He lives in the same house with us. Whatever I'm exposed to, he's exposed to. So it's not quite the fear that I think that I wouldn't make it through something like that, but who knows? I might not. But I don't want to bring it home and give it to anybody else. I just want to be cautious for right now. So I'm not going to any expos or anything like that right now. That may change later. We also have a ton of gigantic windmills. I want a windmill. We have a breeze up here that right now it's just barely blowing, but because the bluff of the mountain is probably, I don't know, a mile, there's a breeze blowing up here all the time, just about. I wish we had a windmill. You need to build a goat self feeder, hay and grain. So our goats, well, my at my parents' house is where the goats are. Our goats, we don't feed a lot of grain, except in the wintertime. In the wintertime, we will give them a supplement of grain, and they do get a little bit of hay, but they eat through the woods. They'll go through the woods and they strip the bark off the trees and eat the bark off the trees, and they're just eating all the time. So we don't feed a lot of hay or grain. But if I had to go and do that every day for them, I would definitely want a self feeder so I wouldn't have to, go and monkey with it. But our blasted goats are crazy. I could just see them bashing on it because you know how they like to rub and bash on things, bashing it off the wall or something. I would think it would have to be super sturdy because goats are destructive animals. Everything has to be sturdy. And fences, they love to monkey with fences, and we're pro fence menders because of goats. I don't blame you. Stay safe. Yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I would hate to think that I brought home something like that and then my brother not make it or my grandmother not make it. Um, I don't know that. I don't know how I would, you know, live with that. But, to each their own. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying that's my personal choice. And they eat everything, flowers and all. Good mowers. Yes, they are good mowers. That's about all we do with our goats is just let them clear land. And of course, they have babies and we sell their babies, but that's what they are. They're just clear everything, briars, it doesn't matter. They just eat just about everything. There are a few weeds that are in our pasture, and I don't know what type of weeds they are, but they won't touch them, and they just eat around them. But they eat everything. Hedge bushes, man, they love the hedge bushes, and they don't quite eat the hedge bushes in the summertime. They have better things to eat, but in the wintertime, when everything dies down, they'll go to the woods and they'll just feast on hedge bushes. Uh, they're just great things to keep the land cleared. And eventually we'll have some up here. Uh, we're hoping to put them next to our, I don't know, there is, our fence runs about 3 acres down and on one side of the driveway, but we can't mow or anything over there. So we're thinking about putting a fence on this side so they can clean all that and then go down here to the front of the property and have, part of the field for them to get in. For now, they are fenced in. I need to fence in another 800 foot and then I can let them run on their own. Yeah, running on their own is the best choice if you can do it. But I understand those fencing. We worked all winter long on this fence because we didn't want to be in the bushes and monkeying with, whatever was in there in the summertime. So we fenced in 5 acres, right around 5 acres this winter, and the this coming up winter after we build our house, if we get our house done, we have about 9 more acres that needs to be fenced in the back. I'm just looking at the comments, see if I missed anything. So Tony, are you going to are you doing fencing now, or are you going to wait till it's winter? They love poison ivy. Yes. Yes, they will get rid of the poison ivy for sure. They love all kinds of weird things that other animals won't eat. So anybody else got anything else going on? I have a friend that just looked at, there's an auction next Saturday down the road from us. 52 acres. It's beautiful. But I have a friend that came and looked at it yesterday. We took her and her family to look at it. I don't know if they're going to go ahead and try to bid on it, but land and everything is just crazy price right now. It's a court ordered auction. I don't know if it's because of back taxes or what, but it would be awesome to have somebody we know live down the street from us. Winter, but I'm having a knee replacement October the 13th. Oh, I'll be praying for you, Tony. And fast recovery from, knee surgery. Most of the things they won't eat are actually poisonous to them. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, how long is recovery from a knee surgery? Is it like, I don't know, I would think it would be a while for, well, not knee surgery, a knee replacement. How long does it take before you can be up and moving around or putting up a fence? How long before you can put up a fence? And I think that the auction next Saturday, I think we're going to go to it just to see what it sells for. We thought about bidding on it if it went really cheap for us to get it, and not sure what we would do with it. Maybe resell it, or maybe we could sell this place and move to 52 acres. But I just want to be out of debt, and I don't want to take that on right now. I just want to build our house, pay this property off, and look forward to retirement and not being in debt would be great. I I can't even imagine what the feeling is to be debt free, but that's what we're working toward, and that was the whole purpose of selling our house and buying this and building a small house, bigger yard, and 3 weeks takes 3 weeks to recover from a knee replacement. Holy moly! I would have never thought 3 weeks. Good lord, huh? That blows my mind. But anyway, we may go to the auction next weekend and see what's going on. It's an outdoor auction, so I won't be crammed in with a bunch of people or anything. It's outdoor auction in a gravel parking lot. But we may go and just see what it goes for, just because it's very interesting what the price of land is now. It is crazy, 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 crazy. And houses and just the price of everything's went up. Oh, hi, free handling maid. They have you walking on it on the next day. Oh, good lord. Can't stay, have a meeting to go to, wanted to show some support and give a thumbs up. Thank you, free handling maid. Thank you for coming in. Your mom was walking in a week. And then Tony Cabin in the Woods says, walking on it the next day. Holy crap. That sounds horrible. Horrible. 10,000 square. Here, 10,000 square feet of land is $65,000. It's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. And land has just went up here. Um, like in the city, in the county, closer to the city, it's just skyrocketed. It's about $10,000 an acre in some places, where that prime property is, which it's walking with a walker. Recovery starts right away. That just blows my mind. I was thinking like, I don't know why I was thinking 6 or 8 weeks or something. But yeah, property off the mountain is about $10,000 an acre. And hi, Sweeney's Creek Farm. Thanks for coming in. It's chilly in Australia. We're doing great. How are you? It is not chilly here though. It's just right here in the shade. You'll break a sweat out in the sunshine now, but right here in the shade, it's really nice. There's a nice breeze blowing, and it's just nice. At night, we've been having to put on hoodies up here because it is getting fall. The leaves are starting to change color. It's getting that time. Some of them are starting to fall off the trees. I don't see any right around here that I could show you that they're falling off of. Most of these trees right here are oak trees or maple trees, and most of them wait a while before they're some of the last ones for the leaves to start falling. But yeah, it's getting that time. I dread it. I dread winter. I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold. I rather sweat and huff and puff all day than be cold. But it is what it is. And we're going to be building a house this winter in the cold. And the Farmer's Almanac, which I don't know, says that they are predicting this year is going to be the worst winter we've had in 20 years. I surely hope not. Winter is trying to hang on here this week. Had warm, cold rain, warm, hail, cold, really cold, and rain yesterday. It was fun trying to put up the fencing. That's just what we were talking about, is putting up fence in the wintertime. We've got fence to put up if we get our house finished. I love the cold. Whew, I don't. Small 10,000 square plot for a house was between 3 and 15,000 depending on if it was cleared or not. Now it's absolutely crazy. I agree. It's just everything has just skyrocketed. The housing market, the land, everything. Um, better get firewood ready. We have more firewood already cut that is more than we'll ever burn in a winter anyway. Because all the trees that we had to drop where we're going to put our house, we locked all that up into firewood. So we've got stacks and stacks and stacks of firewood between trees all through the woods. Hello, RVing with G. Thanks for coming in. Just put up 400 feet of fencing around our new orchard. Working on the video now. How what did you plant in your orchard? We just planted. We put up peach and put up. We planted peach and apple trees. I have a 2 pears and 2 plums that I haven't even planted yet. We did plant 1 fig, but we have to put those up, and we don't have fences around those. I've just been making. If y'all have watched my video, I've just been making the bug spray, the homemade bug spray, and spraying our trees with it, and it keeps the deer and the bugs off of it. Doesn't do anything for fungus, but it does keep the deers and the bugs off of it. And it doesn't actually kill them. It just tastes bad to them, so they taste it and move on. It's going really well, RVing with G. Thanks for coming in. How are you? Now, anybody that is in this live here, if you see anybody in here you're not connected with, go ahead and connect with them. All these channels are good channels. Hi, Farm and HVAC. Thanks for coming in. You guys probably know each other. I'm not sure. Some of you guys may not know some of my RVing friends. If you don't know them, go check them out. Apple, cherry, nectarine, peaches. Oh, it's moving. Hang on, I gotta move back down in the chat. Lemon, lime, orange, mandarin, nectarine, plum, fig, and almond. Man, your orchard's rocking. We just got peaches and apples, and we're going to plant about 50 blackberry bushes this fall. Later on, because we have decided that we're gonna do a fruit and berry farm, because not a lot of people here have fruits and berries locally grown at the market. Most all of it is coming out of Atlanta, which comes from Florida or other places. So we want to locally grow fruit. We'll still grow our veggies for us, but we're hoping to offer the community fresh fruit and berries from locally grown. Oh, look, Tony from Our Cabin in the Woods connecting with Sweeney's Creek Farm. RVing. Hi, I'm going to school for robots and I graduate in November this year. So, RVing with G, are you going to school to build robots or work on robots? What kind of robot schooling are you doing? Are you going to school to learn to work a robot? I'm not sure. Um, I don't know what you call it. Work it, make it do things. What else is everybody else got coming in their garden right now? We just have the okra, some sweet potatoes to dig later. That's it. Everything else is just played out. Our squash didn't do squat this year. We planted it on one end of the garden and it rained and rained and rained and rained. And it absolutely stood in water for days. And then every one of the plants died from standing in water. So we learned you can't put squash there. The corn was on the same end of the garden and did well. So next year, I believe we're just going to fill that end up with corn and move all of our squash because I planted butternut squash, I planted spaghetti squash, planted zucchini, planted yellow squash. Mm, I think that may be all the squash, but every one of them died. Thanks for coming in, Tony. You have a great day. That's called Steve Hits the Deck Again. So I haven't seen that video and I am going to go check that out. Running, programming them to do things. So is that kind of like a computer engineer? I'm not sure. Blackberry bushes, raspberry, two muscadine grapes, two fig trees, and a pecan tree. So we're just going to start with blackberries this time. And then later on in the spring, we might plant some grapes. But this fall, we're just going to do the blackberries. We did really well with blackberries this year. We picked a lot of wild ones. There are two tame bushes at my parents' house that we picked blackberries off of. We had so many blackberries. Blackberries, blackberries, blackberries. There was an elder lady that lived next door to us. It's not able to pick blackberries. And she asked if she could buy some from us. And we said, yeah, how much you need? She said about 2 gallons. Because she was going to make some preserves or something. Or jam, I'm not sure. And so we picked her 2 gallons. She came to pay us for them and was telling us that she had some canning jars, a lot of them. And she didn't do a lot of canning anymore and she needed to get rid of them. So I made a deal with her. I said, would you be willing to trade the canning jars for these blackberries? I'm, you know, I'd rather have the jars than the money because jars were hard to find at the time. And she said, yeah, sure. And then she called me and she said, well, we might need to renegotiate this. I have a lot of jars. Can you get me 1 more gallon of blackberries? I said, yeah. So I traded 3 gallons of blackberries for a carload. I'm serious, a carload of jars, jelly jars, pint jars, quart jars. She traded the whole back seat of the car was full. The whole trunk was full. I bet there was 150 jars. So we have plenty of jars. Now it's hard to find the lids for canning. So, uh, yeah, we're thinking blackberries would be nice. We did have somebody asked us, you know, how much blackberries can you get us? We want all you can get us. Well, at that time, we had already took our blackberries, turned them into jelly, other things, and the blackberries were about playing out at that point in time. And I think they got a gallon, but I believe we could have sold every one that we picked because everybody wanted blackberries. And I think we'll do well with them. They grow well here and they're pretty, other than cutting them back, keeping them tied up, they're pretty low maintenance. And I like low maintenance. Bye, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. I hope, I don't know which one of you guys I'm talking to. Hope both of you have a great day. Well, I guess I'm gonna jump off here unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about. I just wanted to jump on here and let you guys know what was going on the homestead. It's been a while since I've done a live, and I have videos coming up. I think my next video is a cooking video about stuffed peppers, and then after that, there's one that Vince done himself, putting it in our septic tank, and then there's also a Shed Wars video coming up um, about prepping the garden for my cut flower garden next year. Uh, I think that's all I have planned right now. And anybody that's in here, don't forget this fall, probably in November sometime, I'm going to start back my lives on Thursday nights and do trivia. I always give away prizes. I give away t shirts. I give away cookbooks and dehydrating books and all kinds of books. And I give away seeds sometimes. So you guys keep an eye out for those lives. Those lives I will put out a notification letting you know it's coming up. The last one I did, nobody came, but I believe it was because everybody was busy. I was busy that day, and I thought, oh God, I've got to go do a live. And I came in for about 15 minutes and nobody showed up. And I said, hey, I think everybody's just as busy as I am. I'm going to call this off until, this fall when everybody's not so busy. Because, like I said, spring and summer, we're just covered up with work. Um, but you guys keep an eye out for those lives so we can do some trivia. I really enjoy the trivia. Everybody that shows up seems to like the trivia, and I always try to give away good stuff. So you guys be on the lookout for that. And God bless you all, and everybody be safe and have a great day.